Hi everyone, I am making this video for various different reasons. One of them being that I want to address one of my videos being gone from my channel, which is not something that I would normally want to make a big fuss about, but it just happened to be my biggest and most successful video to date. And many people have actually asked me where it's gone. So you will get to hear that in a second. And also I just want to share my thoughts and opinions in general on the situation around The Sims 2 in 2021. As the owner of a YouTube channel that's content is almost exclusively focused on The Sims 2 and that I started primarily to get more people to play The Sims 2, this is a topic that is obviously very close to my heart. By the way, I'm Pixu, and if you're not sick of me yet, feel free to subscribe to my channel where I post Sims 2 videos at least once a week, and follow me on my socials where I post things that nobody asked for. Thank you. Okay, so exactly 6 months ago, I uploaded my very first video to this channel, an 18-minute long tutorial on how to install The Sims 2. This was my best recommendation for installing the game in 2021. I have seen videos on YouTube before that pointed to other links, but I found the download that I had used when I installed The Sims 2 on my new computer to be ultimately the best, because it was a copy of the Ultimate Collection, meaning it had every single expansion pack, no exceptions, and all patched up. I'll get back to this in a bit. And it did take them 6 months, but YouTube eventually realized that this was content that was against their community guidelines. So last Saturday, I received an email telling me that my video had been removed because it was apparently harmful or dangerous content. It said, content that shows viewers how to gain unauthorized free access to audio content, audio-visual content, full video games, software or streaming services that normally require payment is not allowed. Which does make a lot of sense, right? But does it make sense when it comes to a game that is technically not available to purchase from the original distributor anymore? I mean, probably. There is probably a lot of nuance to it that I don't understand, like with copyright and stuff. That is a territory that I don't claim to know a lot about. I really don't. But I did go and take my best logical reasoning and filed an appeal. I told them all about The Sims 2's lack of availability on Windows and how the only other way to play The Sims 2 on Windows in 2021 was to purchase second-hand discs from the internet, which not only was of no direct financial use to EA whatsoever, but was also an unnecessarily uncomfortable and complicated way of installing the game. Because, I don't know if you knew this, but to get your game to work exactly as intended, you'd have to install the expansion packs in their original order of release, and also separately apply patches to every single one. You'd also probably have to get an external desk reader for your computer because they don't really put those things in computers anymore. And you may also have to deal with this malicious software that gets installed on your computer when you install The Sims 2 from the disks that might do stuff like completely disable your disk tray and can be really hard to uninstall. Speaking of personal experience. Yeah, anyways, I didn't write all of this in the appeal, just that I believed I wasn't causing any harm to anybody, but I knew they were going to reject it. And they did. They didn't even write me an explanation or anything. They just said no. And that's fine. I mean, it's a bummer, but like, what can I do? I'm grateful that I was able to help as many people as I could for the time that it was up. And I'm also happy because it kind of started me on my YouTube journey. So that's where the video is. It wasn't me taking it down, it was YouTube. I'm very sorry. For those of you who are still looking for the link, all I am legally allowed to say at this point is the internet is your friend. If you hit up basically any popular social media site for The Sims 2, you should be able to find something. I do not really condone piracy. I want to make this clear. I would normally not go and promote any way of downloading a game that is still available to purchase, like The Sims 3 or The Sims 4. But when it comes to The Sims 2 and The Sims 1, I simply do not see a more logical way to get these games. I know that there are people in the Sims community, also specifically in the Sims 2 community as well, who really believe that even if you download games illegally, you should also at least own a physical copy of them. I understand that, and I think that if it's better for your conscience that way, then yeah, go ahead and purchase discs on eBay. I personally don't believe that this really matters at this point, and I'm also from Eastern Europe, so my mentality towards expensive Western content might look a little bit different. So I can justify downloading abandonware. If you're someone who can't, and I've offended you with anything I said, I'm very sorry. Once again, I believe that people who download The Sims 2 in 2021 because they want to play the best game in the Sims franchise do not do any harm to anyone. Now, I know that The Sims 2 Super Collection is still available available to buy on Mac. And I only kind of realized that this might be a factor after I filed the appeal. And even after that, today, when I was preparing for this video, I actually realized how big of a factor that might be in the whole Sims 2 situation. So now we move on to why EA doesn't intend on selling The Sims 2 anymore. This is often a question in the Sims community. Why doesn't EA sell The Sims 2 anymore? A couple of months ago, there was this huge thing in the Sims community where people started demanding EA put The Sims 2 back on Origin. People kept asking why, making theories. And there was this answer that surfaced. Some technical talk about how The Sims 2 relies on this system that cannot be legally used anymore by EA. Some copyright issues or something. And that's why they couldn't distribute the game on Windows anymore. But I think this was debunked quite early on. We found out that this was not that big of a problem at all, or something like that. Don't hold me to it. I am not an expert in this. So after that, we've just gone back to wondering why EA would not want Sims players to play The Sims 2 anymore. There is this theory that the game is very old and it would just be too hard to fix up to a level where it could be sold again, and that it would not be worth it. But I personally think that this is a question of just not wanting to fix it rather than not being able to fix it, because players have literally fixed the game. Players voluntarily designed programs, hacks, tools to fix up the game in parts where it's troubled. Every single thing that could have come up as a problem in The Sims 2 is already fixed by some talented programmer right there, or clever players who were able to figure out different methods to make the game as good as it can be. Think of the 4 gig patch, think of Graphics Rules Maker, think of the ocean of tutorials that are available online, fixes for so many bugs that are in the game. This is all done by players, people who just wanted to make the game better for themselves and others. And I'm sure they didn't even have access to like all the code that's in the game, and all the resources of course. I do not believe that EA and Maxis would not be able to do the same things in a short period of time. And if they wanted to make it even easier, they could also reach out to these players for help. I know that such thing would be quite embarrassing for the company, but it kind of hurts that I'm supposed to believe that that is what's stopping them. Another thing that I was thinking about is maybe they would not want to set up a customer service for The Sims 2, which honestly, I don't think that would require so much workforce. I don't think that it would be hard to find literally just a couple of people who will do that. But again, I don't know how it works, so forgive me if I just spoke a lot of bullshit. But yeah, the real reason that they don't want to sell The Sims 2 again, according to a lot of people, not specifically me, I'll tell you what I think of it in a second, is because they think it may drive some players away from The Sims 4, which is where the real money is currently. I literally just saw this screenshot a couple of days ago about how the company has no plans to sell The Sims 2 again, and instead the developers are focusing on creating DLC for The Sims 4. Well, of course. Yeah, the thing is, if they sold The Sims 2 again, and like they put up the Ultimate Collection on Origin for like $30, it would potentially be a threat when it comes to The Sims 4's target audience, who are children and teenagers who don't know about illegally downloading games yet. So they would probably only get The Sims 2 if it was available to buy through Origin. But at the same time, would these people really go and buy it? The people who have not played it previously? The people who have not played it in their childhood? The people whose first Sims game was The Sims 4 or The Sims 3 maybe they'd be curious to try The Sims 2. But I think people who are used to The Sims 4 would not permanently abandon it for a game like The Sims 2, which essentially I think is a very different game from The Sims 4 because of all the reasons that I have already gone over in my previous commentary video. If The Sims 2 could potentially drive away players from The Sims 4, then why is The Sims 3 still available to buy? I think that the real danger to The Sims 4's audience would much rather be The Sims 3 than The Sims 2, which I'm not saying to give EA ideas, God forbid, no, long live The Sims 3, but to explain why I don't think that it's a rational decision for EA to hold back The Sims 2. They could literally make money off The Sims 2. So much instant money. Because you know, the moment it would go on sale, pirating the game would not even be an option anymore for people with conscience. Especially if the whole game was only like $30 or $40. Hell, even more than that. But they don't do it. Why? And because the game is still available to purchase on Mac. I mean some of the game, because a lot of packs were never ported to Mac. So for example, out of the expansion packs, you cannot play Free Time or Apartment Life on a Mac. But because some of it is still available to buy, it doesn't even feel like completely abandonware. It rather feels like good luck fighting with your conscience over if you really want to illegally download this game there, which is really an unfavorable state for a game to be in, and for a community who just really loves this game and does not want it to get erased, and a community that also has to constantly put up with new or returning players asking questions like, how can you play The Sims 2 in 2021? Why is this wrong? Why is that wrong? I've got so many problems. Sims 2 doesn't work on Windows 10. It does, but it takes dedication sometimes because of all the different fixes you have to apply coming from different places. And it's so annoying to know that all of this would literally not be an issue if EA took the effort to repair it and release it again. Now, of course, I'm not a game developer, I'm not a programmer, and I otherwise have very little insight to the gaming industry. But this is how I see things from here. This is how outsiders see things. And I believe if things were a lot more complicated, if there were also other valid reasons as to why The Sims 2 is not available on Windows, then I would expect to at least receive a better explanation from the company. I feel like we would deserve to really know the real reasons. They could shut us up with that. I know they're tired of people asking them about The Sims 2, but as long as all they're going to communicate with us is Sims 2 old, newest Sims 4 DLC, good and exciting, then of course we're just going to believe that they really just want all of us to convert to The Sims 4 and forget about the old games. Which I actually don't think would be an invalid idea if The Sims 4 is a game that the developers truly believe in, the people who work on it truly have their heart and soul in it. Obviously they want us to consume that game instead. The same way that I want people to consume The Sims 2 because I think it's better. But constantly enduring fans on social media asking about The Sims 2 must not be a good feeling either. And they know it's going to go on. Not even just because of the problems with The Sims 4, but because people generally love and miss this game. So come on, throw us a bone. See how it goes. See if Sims 4 sales go down because of it. I believe they wouldn't. Because currently all they're doing is just creating tension and making players resort to downloading the game illegally, which then they will then of course disapprove of. So what do you think? Do you think putting The Sims 2 up for sale, maybe on Origin, would affect how well The Sims 4 is doing? Do you think that maybe there is a deep, unknown technical difficulty that we peasants cannot know of that stops EA from distributing The Sims 2 again? I'm not actually mad at my video being taken down. I know that YouTube has to comply with copyright rules and all of that. I just kinda at the back of my mind do wonder why they took down my video and none of the other videos about the same thing. But anyway, I'm not hurt, I accepted it. It just made me think so much about the whole situation, which is why I made this very ranty video. I'm sorry if it got intense by the end. I just want my favorite game ever to be available for everyone. Thank you so much for watching if anybody's made it till the end of this. I'll see you next time with slightly more positive content. Bye bye!